Good afternoon, everybody. It is Feel Good Friday, and I'm Attorney Danyl Patterson, candidate for state rep in the 190th state legislative district here in Pennsylvania. For those who don't know, that's West Philly, baby. So I'm calling everybody from Haddington, Dunlap, Cedar Park, Mill Creek, West Belmont, West Powelton, East Parkside, Cathedral Park, Carroll Park, Winfield Heights, and West Allegheny Avenue. This is the place to be for all Philadelphians, but sometimes information is directed directly to you. There's a lot to feel good about, and we're going to talk about all of it today because there's a lot that has really made my week personally, but I have some stuff to share with you that you're going to feel good about too. So we've got two different special guests today, and we're going to do the segment a little bit differently because we're not going to all interact all the way through because I really want some of your focused on two distinct individuals and programs. So first up today, we've got Miss Kelli Wyatt, who is a teacher in the school district. I'm sorry, an educator. I have to get it right. She's an educator, and she saw what was happening with her seniors and that were graduating, and so she said, "I'm going to do something about it. These kids are missing out on the rite of passage of what's going on here in Philadelphia and a part of their lives." I don't know about you, but being a senior, that was some of the best time of my life. That rite of passage. So we're going to welcome Kelli. Welcome, Kelli.
Hi, how are you?
I am great. So Kelli, tell us exactly what your role is as an because I should act like I have some education as an educator.
So, I've been a teacher now for 21 years with the district, and I've
I
floated.
wasn't gonna say that, like I wasn't because don't she look 16? Sometimes when they post up and the kids be like, "Oh, I saw you," those kids look as old as the teacher. So
I've been teaching middle school for 21 years now, floating in and out between the class as a teacher, academic lead, a school-based teacher lead. Several roles I've had, but primarily teacher is my main hat.
Well, oh, and I also forgot to tell you. So that's part one. Part two, we are focusing on a booming small business and how they've been able to pivot in this time of turmoil. And my girl and everybody's favorite, Miss Shani Newton. So I know you're going to continue to tune in for that. And we're going to, do a little shopping and see what's going on in the boutique. And I don't know about you, but shopping always makes me feel good. It does. But first up, we're really going to talk about first, this 16-year-old teacher over here that's been teaching for 21 years. My mother used to say that all the time. She said, "Oh, well, my daughter," she's like, "I've been doing this for 30 years, but I'm only 25." And people would just fall for it until I was about 30. Then they started counting like for real. Like now I'm confused.
Like my oldest students are now in their 30s. Like my first class of kids. Like I've gone to weddings, baby showers, housewarmings. Yeah.
But that's because people don't realize how much of an impact our teachers just make on the development of our lives.
Mm-hmm.
I still remember, my teachers over there, Our Lady of Victory, when Miss Cash passed away, it was devastating to an entire community. And I had been going from that school 30 years when that happened. We were all still making sure that we had gone out to visit her, as she was going through her final illness, just thinking about Miss Robinson and what was going on down in the church office or just, all those times that, we used to mess with, our computer teacher, Mr. Mark. We wouldn't even call him by the last name because, we being rude kids. That was the rudest thing we call was not to use his last name, Mr. Mark, the computer man. So it just, shapes everything. So I'm glad to know that the kids are still remembering you such they reach back.
Absolutely.
And I see that you've reached forward. So you are teaching middle schoolers, but you put together a program for high schoolers. So tell us about that.
So what actually happened about 2 weeks on my page, we had a conversation around the venture that was going on when you post your high school graduation pictures to support the seniors. So there was a lot of dialogue about that, whether or not it actually support them or not. I don't think it did, but that's, everybody had their own opinion. During that time, an educator in Florida reached out to me because they were doing something down there for their seniors. She invited me in, and it was pretty much just for her county. And they had like an adopted senior program. And I said, after that conversation, I kind of popped in and see what was going on. And I adopted a young man. I didn't want a high flyer. I wanted just a regular kid,
Okay.
Who just often get overlooked,
Because everybody should be acknowledged during this time, not just the
right,
kid, graduating at the top of the class. Because I'm gonna
right.
tell you, sometimes the kid graduating at the bottom of the class, that's the one that overcame a whole bunch of hurdles to get there, honey.
You're absolutely right, and that's the one that really make the biggest gains later. So I
Mm-hmm.
wanted somebody in that kind of era. So like, you got to see all these big, beautiful write-ups, and this mom was like, "Hey, this is my son. He has a 2.9. We're still debate between these two schools, and he enjoyed time on his PS4, and just gave an emoji like this is my baby though." So I adopted him, sent him a message early one morning, and just a little gesture saying, "Hey, I'll be in touch." The response that he gave when he woke up is what moved me to bring that venture up here, because he found me on Facebook, and honestly, his message was 2 sentences, but it said, "Thank you for choosing me. I'm so glad you adopted me." And that meant a lot, And then talking to the mom, she talked about how he ran downstairs like, "Mom, somebody just sent me, something in these words," and he was so excited, but you could tell like he's one average kid, he's not the high flyer, but maybe not, he's not the kid at the bottom end either. So he kind of coaxed through. So
those are the ones that really get, overlooked. So, the ones at the bottom get a whole bunch of extra attention to try and bring them up. The ones at the top, they kind of, they just get your accolades. But the ones in the middle of the road, like, it's kind of like the middle child syndrome in a family. It's like, I had my 2 minutes and then it was gone because then you were born.
Right. And he reminded me of my sons. Like, I'm going to do just enough. Like, I'm chilling on my PS4, but I'm graduating kind of thing. So that's why I chose him. So that evening, I reached out to I put a post on my page. If you have a high school senior, comment here. So I took those people and pulled them into a group and said, "This is what I want to do. I want to open a group up, but before we do, this is why. It's not about financial need. It's about supporting our kids." And I walked them through how to do the bios, what it's going to look like, what the expectation is. I wasn't supposed to open the group until that Monday, the 20th, but everybody had their bios up and they were ready to go. So I opened it that Sunday.
They were excited.
And it was like, honestly, opening up on that Sunday, I was only expecting maybe 50, maybe 50 kids, maybe 100, 200 people. By the time we finished Sunday, we were at 1,000 people.
Wow.
Yeah, by the time we finished Sunday, we had 1,000 people in the group. We had about 100 kids posted. So it was like, okay. I reached out to a teacher, D. Berrien. She's at a different school. I said, "Listen, I started this group. I need a second set of eyes. I can't watch everything because we're still working too. We still have to teach. We still have our home lives, our kids and everything." So she got on board. She said, "Okay, I'll help you." And that was that. But that 1,000 turned into 3,000. And we're now up to 6,000 people in the group. And it's only been 2 weeks. So in that time, I pulled on 3 more people. Like one day we were both asleep because we were watching this page for 24 hours a day. And it was like my eyes were tired. And I noticed two of the moms who were in the group whose daughters were adopted. They started getting on everybody's posts and kind of directed them. "All right, your kid's adopted, now do this." Or, "You're looking for a kid that go to girls' high, I'm gonna match you up." Like they took the rope and just kept going. So I asked them to be a part of the team. Brian Robinson got on. I looked up, he was on everybody's posts. "All right, Mom, this is what you gotta do, this is what you gotta do." So I asked him, "Hey, listen, be our 5th set." And that's how I got my team together. So everybody has their lane and what they focus on. And now we're moving. So that was the first week. On Sunday, you just felt the energy was so positive that you wanted to do more. Like, you had parents inboxing saying, "Hey, listen, this is just giving us life. I haven't even watched the news. My kid is out of her funk," because people are extending just gestures to her. And we received several of those messages. One kid the first kid was accepted to Lincoln. Like when the mom posted, he didn't have any college acceptances yet, and they were going to prepare to send him to the community until they figured something out because they got a late start. But
this is the one that actually really drew my attention.
Yeah, so then we had somebody invited Dion on. Like I met Dion in the group. I didn't know Dion before this. So I met him in the group, and the mom and him linked up, and he was accepted the next day. So that was the first
one that I noticed.
It was like, okay, wait a minute, like we doing stuff. Now you have people coming on like, all right, they have a virtual scholarship information Zooms or the virtual HBCU college tour. Like everybody's posting resources. So now the parents are getting this as well.
Okay.
So it just kept expanding and kept expanding and kept expanding to where now it's like it's still not even 2 weeks yet. We have well over 500 kids that's been adopted by 3 people. We have 6,000 people in the group, 6,000 people waiting to get in the group.
I was gonna say, wait a minute. So I was trying to adopt me a kid. It was like, whoop, whoop. It was like fish. Up. You almost had him. Up. Okay, she's going. I was like, okay. And then you had another fabulous idea. You said, okay, you don't need to adopt any more kids.
You want to?
This is what we're doing. You actually got a plan. What's that plan?
So the part 2, somebody reached out to listen. I don't know about this adoption process. It's too much. I want to donate. So on Sunday, I started the scholarship fund. I said our minimum goal would be $25,000. Everything we raise go right back to the kids. So in a week's time, we're at $15,000 that we raised for them. We still have adoptions going strong, but the purpose of the scholarship fund is to help out because we all know 1 out of 6 people is affected work-wise by this pandemic. You have the students that's already losing everything. So like some houses are getting a double and triple whammy. Like we can't do this, we're not working, we're not like it's a lot going on.
So how do we reach out to you? How do so we want to donate. We want to donate. How do we donate?
So we have 2 portals for the donations. We do have one on Facebook. It's called Adopt a Senior 215.
Okay, adopt. Wait a minute, because I'm special. Adopt a Senior 215. Okay.
Yeah, those
it's like FB Facebook hashtag thing. I mean backslash thing.
I guess so. I just
Facebook Adopt a Senior. Okay, Les, I'll see you out there. Help me out. Y'all know I'm special. To this link up.
I'll share on the page.
Okay.
So we have links on Facebook and GoFundMe for that effort.
Okay, so that's GoFundMe.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a hash. I know it's GoFundMe.com/adopt a senior, right?
215. You got to put the 215 behind it.
Well, that's right. You want them to come to Philly. Okay.
Right. It's more than one Adopt a Senior group.
Okay. So they can reach out to you. We still 10,000 off. And don't forget, y'all, that was a floor. It's not a ceiling. Don't get on there and be like, oh, they hit 24,999. I'm good. No, because they're really trying to do it. They're putting together, they had book scholarships. They're looking for transportation scholarships. These kids are getting ready to have fees. We don't know what they're going to be. We know that some folks are going to have to do remote learning. So we know that we're going to need Wi-Fi. The needs are going to be very, very different next year. And these kids have been resilient if they have been nothing else.
But then when you hear the stories on top of it, like we have some that's overcome academic struggles. You have some and they're like the parents and guardians are really sharing their life story. We have a couple of teen parents in there. Like it's a lot that this group of kids have come across, have overcome and still pushing forward. So it's like we want to assist them.
Talking about that, so our next guest is not an educator, but everybody who knows Shani Newton from Shani's from Dolly's Boutique and Consignment knows that Shani loves the kids. Okay, you can go on her page at any time and hear about the sugar lumps and their fascinating lives, because these kids living better lives than me. Okay, they a little fabulous out here, and I'm gonna just say they a little fabulous out here. And when she heard about it, she was just talking to me about the kids in general and how resilient they've been. All of the kids, they don't know what's going on, and they've had to react and respond to this. So I'm going to bring Shani in to talk with us too. Hey, Shani.
Hi there.
Live from the boutique, y'all. Live from the boutique. So how have the sugar lumps been doing? And how old are they? Because they look grown. They grown. So I forget that that they not 25.
No, they're not 25. My niece and nephew, who are known as the Sugar Lumps, they are 8. Savannah is 8, and Charles is 10.
And no, they 25 and 30 because they living the life, okay? I mean, I look up, they on vacation, they at the basketball game, they sitting with Dr. J. I don't know, they rolling Savannah rolled around with her little Gucci belt bag, telling you it's just wait a minute. The day that she called up talking about something, they wasn't the right Uggs. I was done, okay? They not the one she wanted, okay? She wanted the unicorn color, some mess. I don't know what it was, but and you know what? Auntie was like, oh, I got to go right now. Let's go to I was like, is this, I'm really doing this? And I was right there doing this. So it's like, okay.
We create the monsters, but we love the children, and we just want to give them everything that some things that we didn't have, and if we are in a position to do more for them, than we had, it's a different time. So yeah,
And
they're spoiled. Most of the kids are spoiled.
no, they're not spoiled, honey. They living a life. I tell everybody, I'm not spoiled. You just mad because my mama took care of me some ways that yours didn't. It's just different, okay? Because I'm sure some things my mama didn't do for me. Because I tell everybody that I was in Miss Piggy sneakers until I was 14 and in high school on the real basketball team. Miss Piggy, y'all. I ain't know nothing about no Nike and Adidas. Every year, my mom's answer was, you better take these Catholic school shoes and be happy. And what do you mean, Miss Piggy? And you know where you get Miss Piggy sneakers from? You get them from Kmart. And they plastic and you just wear them, and that's what it was, okay? So I wasn't spoiled in all the ways, but I did have some advantages other kids didn't have. But the reason I really thought of Shani when we were talking about this initiative is because Shani, these are her nieces and nephews. Kelli, the folks who are reaching out to help your kids, they're not relations.
Right.
These are not their kids. These are people who are really concerned about an entire generation coming up behind us.
And the thing too is, I don't have a senior. So this is not, I don't have a senior in this race. My kids are in 8th grade and 10th grade. So it's not about a benefit here. It's still about putting out to somebody else.
Absolutely.
That's right, JW. I had them Bobos too. That's right. I had Bobos too. And I want everybody to know about my Bobos because they want to talk about my shoes now, but I had Bobos. They wasn't even Miss Bobo. They wasn't even the fake Converse. They literally had Miss Piggy on the side. They was pink and white. And I got the same ones every year because y'all know my feet didn't grow. I got these little feet and they never grew to the rest of the body. So all I wanted was for big feet. So I didn't have to wear the Miss Piggy sneakers. But it was what it was. Julie Jackson is so happy and so proud to know both of these awesome ladies. Keep up the great work. And we've got quite a commentary actually going on over here. I'm sorry.
Shani. Hi, Julie.
Oh, hey, Julie, there. Thank you. We've got quite a commentary, and you will see more of them. Kamari Ellis says, all you got is the bottom. Wait a minute. All you got is red bottoms now. No, that's not true. All you got is red bottoms now. You make up for it. No, that's actually not true. That's not true. Okay. I don't have red bottoms, but me and Stuart Weitzman, we make out pretty good. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you made her feel fine. That's right. Bobos made you feel fine. Cost $1.99. I think they probably were $1.99 too. Because y'all remember when the jellies came out, I tried to had some of them, and then it got out hot outside, and my feet started sweating. We don't even want to talk about it. And now they back, y'all. And now they back. But we are very, very pleased to be able to support the Adopt a Senior program. Please go over, check out Ms. Wyatt's page so that you can see all of the fine seniors over there. We still have some to adopt, but I personally have some to celebrate. So I have been asking for a couple of weeks about who the seniors are who have been coming into DSP for the 190th. And the reason for that is today is a very special day in the land of collegedom. It is senior signing day.
Yeah.
It is. I know. And I think actually, because I've been kind of planning this, Kelli and I had decided on what day it was going to be. And I don't know. Y'all remember like deciding on which college you was going to? It was like the joy of life. Like parents were so excited. I think my parents was, head to toe in some LaSalle gear and some Temple gear, like everything. That I didn't have the stuff they had. They had cups and coffee cups, and they was excited. They was ready with their bumper stickers, and they was ready.
But I actually did that for the parents today in the group because that's a big day. Like not just for the kids, but for the parent too. So we did the games and post your announcements, post your videos. I did like scavenger hunts just so that they can have fun with it today too. So like they're still getting to enjoy that National Signing Day.
How about you, Shani? Do you remember that signing day?
Well, it was a little different for me because
Uh-huh.
I knew where I was going before I was going there.
Okay.
So my experience is a little different. Um, in hindsight, now I appreciate it. My mother worked at Temple for 40 years, so I knew where I was going when I
My
was a
mama
young
tried.
child.
Look, we tried to get my daddy to get a job at any college. Like
Well,
seriously.
most of my friends wanted my mother to adopt them so that they can go to school because back then they gave full tuition for me. So I knew where I was going. You know, at the time, you know, I wanted to go away. A lot of my friends went away to school, and you know, I was, you know, I wanted to go away. But in hindsight, now I have no student loan debt. You know, and
Why you
Temple
got to be on here like
is
rubbing it in?
a great
Like
school.
why you trying to rub it in? I'm just saying. I'm just
I'm just
saying.
saying I didn't appreciate it at the time, but now
Yes.
I'm so appreciative of that and of that opportunity that I had, and for my mother for hanging in there all those years so that we could get that education.
Zahira said, yes, I was last year. You would have thought I was the graduate. Zahira, let me tell you how bad Betty Dowdy was, my mama. I walked across the stage. She was standing on the other end and took my diploma. Okay. She was like, this mine. She took all three of them. Took the one from Girls High. She took the one from LaSalle. And then she took the one from Temple. She said, yeah, no. And she took the one from Villanova. She said you could have the one from Temple because she didn't really understand what I was going to school there for anyway. So my dad took that one. So I actually never had any of my diplomas. They took them. That's what it was. And now, so I had some seniors that we wanted to give a special shout out to because these kids were doing it from the 190, and you know, you got to know who they are because they're going to be great things coming up in our community next. So, and because I also want to know, so what they doing? Because I wanted to know about all the kids in the 190 again, from the ones who were barely making it to the ones that were soaring through. So we got Trinity Beatty, who went to Hatboro Horsham. She got a full academic scholarship to the school of her choice. And so, Zahira, you're going to have to tell me where she decides to go so we can continue to celebrate her. Amir Clarence Jones has graduated or is graduating from the Commonwealth Charter Academy. So we give him some big ups for that. Okay, I'm going to save her for last because this is still my favorite because she's graduating from my alma mater. So, you know. We've got Miss Deja Davenport from Mastery Linfest Academy and a full academic scholarship 190th. So, you know, you can reach out to him and get some information about that. And then Kashimba, y'all got to tell me because I get these things wrong and I'm sorry because I got one of the names I'm trying to get right too. Mitchell, Philadelphia OIC Workforce Academy, graduating with a certificate and 240 hours already in her early childhood education degree. Now that's very significant. Y'all know how I feel about the ECEs because my mother was a preschool provider, and that is a fabulous career. We make strides. There is nothing like shaping the beginning lives of children. So, and that career really can go anywhere. So now, what we also have, and at this point, I had to tell y'all about, because, you know, again, my alma mater. So, and I know I see my GHS girls are already over there on the line. So we have to give all of the GHS pride to Miss Ayana Bullock from the Philadelphia High School for Girls. Yes, yes, we're going to give it all to her because we know that Girls High girls are the best girls in the world. That is just the way it is. Y'all can say whatever y'all want about it because that's not what it is. And she is going on to Thomas Jefferson University, majoring in law and society. So Future Lawyers of America Unite, because we know where that's going, even if she does it today. So that's going to be my little girlfriend in the law, and that is so fabulous. Keep them coming. We want to know what's going on with these kids. Of course, you know, I always have to give a shout out to probably the person who made this the most real for me, even before it all happened, was Miss Nikki Robinson, when she was talking about, you know, Blaze and Bryson and what was going on, what that year looked like, and what they were missing out on. I really started to look back and really realize, I mean, this is the time of your life, honey. It is. It was like, you know, you was fake grown. I don't know if y'all knew that because I was fake grown. Got to get dressed up and go on the prom. Was, you know, so excited to go on my little weekend to Wildwood because, you know, we being fake grown. It was just everything. So we're going to continue to celebrate these kids because if we don't celebrate us, who will? Kelli, we're going to go shopping with Miss Shani. So yes, we're going shopping with Miss Shani. So thank you so much. We see down here we have your link. Thank you. I told you let's get to it. So this is the link. Make sure that you donate, follow the page, find out what's going on. If you have some seniors, hit us up. Let us know. Add them to the group. And we are very, very excited. Thank you so much, Ms. Wyatt.
Thank you, Danielle. Nice to meet you.
Congratulations, Kelli.
Thank you.
Okay, Shani. So, okay, so all y'all that don't know, I ain't even gonna pretend like this ain't my friend, okay? This is my girl. And she's basically a sister from another mister. And you would think that I have known her for years and years, but I didn't. You know, when you just meet somebody and that's a kindred soul, this is Miss who Shani Newton was to me. And on a personal note, I met her after my mom had passed. And I was at a hard part in my life because, you know, you're trying to think about that restructuring of life, what's going on with the next phase, and what it's really like, what it means, you know, to be able to do a lot of things and control your destiny. And the reason I say that is because for me, a lot of the things, the decisions that I made were really around the fact that I knew that I had to care for, you know, care for my overall. Okay. And so as a result, there were things I just didn't do. Brian says, Shani and Danielle, hello. So there were just things I didn't do, and decisions
Hey,
I didn't
Brian.
make. And Shani said, girl, you got to take control of your life and get back out there. It's time to travel the world. It's time to be, you know, fierce and fabulous in your life. And step one is we're going to make you less dowdy because, yes, he fusses at me about that. And we're going to fly you up a little bit. And that's when I was introduced to Dolly's Boutique. Tell us about Dolly's.
Well, Dolly's Boutique, I opened the doors to the brick and mortar in 2009 after the passing of my grandmother. Um, and it was a no-brainer on what to name the store. Even after many years of selling my products on the streets and at flea markets and in salons, um, I knew when I opened my boutique that my grandmother, you know, would be the name. So the Dolly's Boutique was born 2009, and so you know, we specialize in primarily women's fashions and accessories. And we've evolved over the years. We sell men's accessories as well. Um, we're in the process of starting our Mommy and Me line for little girls and moms.
So is Miss Savannah going to be the number one model?
Well, my niece is the inspiration behind that. So yeah, so that's one of the things we'll be working on for 2020, and we're still working on those things now. So you know, just continue to expand.
And so one of the reasons that I admire Shani is not just the gusto, but her ability to cite a trend and to be able to be the trendsetter. So example here is she's a small business, and like small businesses everywhere, there's the highs and the lows, right?
Absolutely.
And she was riding high in 2019. We were so proud of her. She was one of the only four that were chosen to be a part of the fashion district, excuse me, the gallery. I don't care what y'all say, it's the gallery mall. So when the gallery mall was open, Shani's Dolly's Boutique was right on the corner across from DSW. It was about to be something. It really was. DSW was opening. She was right. I mean, it was prime real estate. And then they closed them all. And then they closed them all. But Shani didn't let that stop her. Tell us about that stick and move, Shani, because you know, you like Ali over here.
Well, you know, as everyone knows, the retail businesses were closed due to the COVID. And so as a result, both of my locations are closed. Um, and so, you know, we had to figure out, you know, how we move forward. I'm not going to lie, you know, it it was devastating
Mhm.
to small business. Um, I had poured like most of my savings into the new location. Um, I poured all my savings to the new location.
That's
Let's not
okay.
play.
That's a
Let's
good.
not
You
play
know,
here.
if you won't
And
invest in
some,
it, who else will,
and
honey?
and we had only been open 6 months, so of course I have not recouped any part of that at that point. And so when we closed the doors that day, which was on my birthday, um, I don't know. I just had a feeling like I don't know what's going to happen when I close those doors that day. I don't know. Am I going to come back here? You know, it was just so uncertain what was going to happen. So it was weeks before I kind of like could even process it. You know, I took weeks off, just going through the range of emotions like everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only been in the last few weeks that I feel like I'm ready to fight. Um, you know, for my business and to fight my way out of this. You know, um, so many small businesses are just we're gonna hurt over this, and a lot of businesses are not going to come up out of this. To be honest, they're not.
Yeah.
Many businesses. It's so many factors that I could talk about underneath that, um, because everybody's not going to be eligible to get money. As you can see, who the businesses that were getting the money initially, and
Mm-hmm.
grants, all these things. A lot of small businesses are not going to be eligible for it. Just to be honest with you, and the money is just not going to find them, and it's just going to be devastating. But for me, um, in the last few weeks, I've just figured out a plan to kind of work my way out of this, or just to survive through this. And so, you know, we've recently started back with our website orders. We started doing promotions. We've also looked at where we are right now, what people are wearing, what are the trends right now, because things have changed a lot. You know, um, um, people aren't necessarily wearing like the show-stopping pieces, which Dolly's boutique is known for.
Child, I've been in
Because
sweatpants and a pretty jacket for my live every day. I'm gonna just tell y'all right now, I got on Eagle sweatpants. That's like, y'all don't want me to stand up. So, so
yeah, so
what is
things
the
have
value
changed.
have
So
some
you
new
gotta
inventory?
exactly. So you have to change to what the times are, and that's a lot of times why businesses don't make it, because they don't look at what's happening and change their focus to how they can make their business fit into what's happening now. So what I've been doing for the last few weeks is, you know, looking at what's happening. Now our events have been canceled, all our big fancy things, which I love my fancy events and I live for those things. But quite frankly, we're not wearing those things right now. So what are things that people will buy right now? Pajamas,
Mm-hmm.
lounge, comfy casual pieces, running out, things that you can run out in, shirts, things like that. So we focused on more of bringing in more merchandise like that. And also because we can't have the traffic in the locations, I've been using social media as a method to sell some of the items. People want to see me. I know it's different than when you just post things on the
Yes, it is.
page. It's a much different reaction because
I'm
I
gonna tell you,
post stuff.
Brian just said he was like, Shani, that
So
live
last
last week was major. I mean, everybody, my page was popping because I had shared it. It was popping just because I shared it. So,
yeah, I mean it's true. You know, I advertised some of those same pieces that I sold last week in record time, and they had moved as quickly as they did last week. So
mm-hmm.
it's a difference when you are bringing a personal experience to people. So instead of people coming here and getting an experience that they're used to at Dolly's, I'm going to try my best to bring it to you at your home. So last week was kind of on the fly. Um, I didn't really think through the process like I normally do. I just got up that day. I felt good for a change. I wasn't feeling sad and depressed about this situation. And I said, okay, let me go in my store and show people what I have. And it was really
And I'm
very
gonna stop you right
successful.
here. I'm gonna stop you right here because you're frozen. So I'm gonna take you out the feed and put you right back.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, 'cause I can't even see myself on this thing right now.
Okay. So we just had a little bit of technical difficulty. Let's see if she's still here. Is she still frozen? Okay. Let's just make sure that we don't have additional interference. Okay. So let's just talk about that a little bit while we make sure that she's moving over there. Is this the small businesses that she's talking about? There were two different programs, and I've talked to you about them, ridiculously long, about the PPP and the EIDL that were both available under the Small Business Association, and they were both under the CARES Act. There she is, and she's moving. There you go, honey.
Good.
There you go. You're moving now.
Because that's
So
hard
I
not being
was
able to see
giving you
something
some
like.
filler right there, which is I was just saying to the folks is that as so everybody knows what's going on with the SBA. And then what happened? They were the banks that we bailed out in 2009. The banks that we bailed out in 2009, I'm just calling a spade, decided that they were just going to, make sure they could make all the funds they could off of this. And they pocketed all those smaller loans. And that's what I can say. So there's something called a pocket veto in politics, whereas the governor doesn't not sign it or the president doesn't not sign it, right? Instead, they just kind of leave it there, knowing the time's going to expire because they have to sign it within a certain amount of time. So what they'll do is, and y'all will see the fight sometimes, they want the extension of Congress, oh, we want you to extend your time, because if they don't extend their time, then the time that the president has to sign it has expired. And so without the president having to act, he acted, okay? And that's what the banks did. So they put all these small businesses, they were like, oh, they only going to generate, $1 million in fees. But these businesses over here, they're going to generate $1 billion in fees. So we're going to do them first. And that's what they did. And we weren't just at the back of the line. We weren't even in line, we found out. They literally didn't even put them in. They didn't even put them in. They just were sitting with them on a desk. So, and most small business I know, that's what happened to them. So now we were back to talking about Shani. She had her mojo back. So and on the fly, y'all, I'm just telling you, it was like literally I was tagging something like I'm going live in 20 minutes. And just like I ain't had nothing to do, it was like everybody get off the phone because I got to see, because I got to go shopping with Shani. So what happened?
Well, it was overwhelming. I actually literally just finished shipping out the last packages yesterday from Saturday, because I didn't really think that it would be that overwhelming of an event. So this week we've turned it into like a little series. I'm big into planning, so we put a little more effort into it. We put a little more planning into it. It's strategic this week. And I'm gonna add a little bit more things to it, like fashion trends and tips. Going to be
it's gonna be like the little Nordstrom video that comes to me when I don't want to shop. Like it's like a little Nordstrom video when they go like, and you can wear it because I need guidance. So you can wear this with this, and this is how it will best be fit. Are we gonna do all that?
Absolutely. So it'll be that. I'll be showing like gift ideas, things that you can just send to people just thinking of you, things like that. So it'll be a little more than just me going through the racks and showing you what I have and what sizes I have. I'll also be periodically during the week posting like little clips on my Facebook story where like if there's a few items that deals of the day that I'll post on the story. So if you're following me, follow my story.
That's gonna be on your stories. Wait a minute, just so I know, so it's gonna be on your stories.
Yeah, so that'll be in my stories where like I might post, like when I finish this, I'm working on setup for tomorrow. I'm gonna post a few things that last week I thought sold out but did not. So I'm gonna post a few special buys that you can get. It might only be 2 items, so whoever inboxes me and pays for the items first, they get it.
And so we're gonna be doing we're shopping live tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow at 11 a.m. I'll be going live and I'll be on time this time. And again, the second half will be at
lying to y'all. But anyway, so so it's gonna be, and it's Dolly's boutique, right?
It's so it's this week it's gonna be on my personal Facebook page. I have
no. I'm talking about how to pay, honey. I'm worried about how to pay.
Yes, and I have somebody that's gonna be pinning the cash at. I'm gonna have somebody that's just gonna be doing that, and also going to be showing what it is and what the sizes that I had it in. So,
okay, that's good. I mean, there's so many people popping. So also the rest of that is depending upon what service you're using. So we should really just all stay on your page. We shouldn't try to share it to shop, because we should all really just stay on the Shani Newton page so that there's a constant stream for that person who's following to know what all what's available still and what hasn't moved.
Because people who shared it, they had their friends on their page and they were wanting to buy things, but I didn't see those posts until after I got off and everything was sold. So some of my friends were on other people's posts, but they were upset with me because the items they wanted, they didn't get. So if everybody could just stay on my page, that will be a little bit more simpler. Now, what I
Okay.
am trying to figure out is how I can do live from my business page and my personal page at the same time. I'm not sure if I can do that, but we're gonna work on that for next week. But for now, it's just Shani Newton. Facebook Live, Shani Newton.
Facebook Live, Shani Newton. Well, I'm excited. You know, I only got $6, but I'm willing to spend them with you.
All right, we got you.
That's right, because it's the first of the month, honey. And you know, I'm out here. That's right, Brian. Don't share. That's exactly right. This is the message that we got. Don't share. Go to her page. This
Don't
is the only
share.
time in the world they say
I
don't share.
appreciate it, and that's the thing. This is the only time I'm telling people don't share because it just got to be too much when the people started sharing. And when I had said it, it was already too late. Some people had already shared it, so it just got crazy. And then remember, my employees are all laid off. It's just me here, you know, practicing social distancing and abiding by the guidelines. So I'm doing all this by myself, but we've got a better system this time, and it's gonna be great.
So on the Danyl Patterson for 190th page, I am going to put up another post letting you know of her advertisement. I'll be sharing on my personal page. Share that if you want to share anything. Share the advertisement to let everybody know that 11 o'clock tomorrow is going to be on and popping on Shani's page, and we're going to go shopping with Shani.
Absolutely. And I just
So
want to say how proud I am of you, Danyl. You know, all that you're doing and stepping out on faith. You know, we've had many conversations about this before, you know, you started your campaign and during, and we just as early as yesterday, we had conversations, but I'm just very proud of you, what you're doing. I'm very impressed with the platform that you're presenting and also the information that you present to the community. And I'm just very proud of you.
thank you, Shani. Oh, they tell me I had to do this, and I approve this message. That way we can use it in the video. I didn't know that, so they told me I had to say it, and I approve. I am Danyl Patterson, and I approve this message. Um, but no, really. So there's a lot to feel good about. I mean, really. So let me just tell you some things that I feel good about along that vein. So this week, what do I feel good about? I was actually able, so y'all know that I'm doing constituent services because I'm trying to help everybody to make it through this together. That's what I tell us, we can do better together. You know, there's really got to be enough for all of us to figure out how to eat and feed our kids and how to live. We've got to figure it out together. And I think that yesterday Vanessa Larry Brown brought it home when she said that nobody's going to save us but us. You know, we've really got to band together through this thing. So what have, you know, I personally done? You know, my office has been doing a lot, and you know, we've been making sure that we, you know, working on the food scarcities and food insecurities. You know, cumulatively the team is out. You know, we've all been making sure that folks are getting their medicines and deliveries from the drugstore because the, you know, the windows closed before folks were able to even, you know, request these free deliveries from CVS and Walgreens and things. And people, you know, they didn't think, especially last month, they didn't really kind of had a forethought to try to order more medicine or try to get a 90-day supply. So we really helped them get those things done. But this week I was able to give a lot of leverage. And so that's what I feel good about. And so when I say I was able to give a lot of leverage, I mean this: simple things. It made me feel good to be able to support my friend Shani last week when I'm serious. When I say I stopped everything, I stopped everything. And I was just so excited to tag everybody and share it to everybody because I knew this was going to be major. Because I, you know, before all this, I go to the boutique like I lived there. I do. It's like, because again, she wanted to keep me from being frumpy because, you know, I got to come see y'all. And also because, you know, shopping for women is kind of like the barbershop for men. And especially when you go into Dolly's, that's the experience you get. You are among sisters, and we talk about everything under the sun. And you leave feeling good. You know, your pocketbook is lighter, but you might have a new one that's lighter, but you feel good, right? So, and it was just, I felt good about being able to support my friend because I knew she had her mojo back. So that's something I felt good about. I knew you weren't going to be kept down for long. I wasn't even worried about you. I just knew the day you popped up, you was going to show out, and you did. Okay, and that was on the fly. I felt good about being able to resolve some credit issues for some of my clients. They didn't understand, how to get their credit reports. We had Dave Foster on last week who told us that, you could, request it every single week. We had no idea. You can request your credit report every single week for free right now, Shani. Because they want to make sure that no fraud's going on. And also because all these things that we're applying for, they're dinging your credit. They're checking your credit. So there are all these hard pulls going on right now. The credit card companies are decreasing limits because they're afraid you're going to go out and buy everything under the sun and can't pay for it. So there's a lot of that going on. But somebody had something that had been on their credit for 20 years. And because I had nothing else to do, I was able to get that resolved. To start the process with them, to be able to do it online because they were not like online savvy, to be able to start their report. And they told me today, hey, the dispute came right off. It wasn't even a problem once the folks realized that it was 20 years old. And that she had written letters about it for the last 20 years because she hadn't owned it. That made me feel good. Something else that made me feel good. Some of those kids from the neighborhood who were calling me personally to tell me about what school they were graduating from and how it made them feel, even the fact that we cared about what was going on with them. They said they didn't feel alone. They felt connected. And that was the whole goal. So it was good to know that we were making a difference. And it felt good to support, our sister in the community, Vanessa Lowry Brown, yesterday, and to be able to share her story so that we can bring awareness on COVID in our community. And at the same time, we were able to, identify, a young Black entrepreneur who is bringing COVID testing to our homes, directly to our homes, Johnny. And to be able to create and develop that partnership, that made me feel good. So basically, I've told you all guys all along that service makes me feel good. And this week, I really felt like I have served. So that's my Feel Good Friday for today. Check out my girl, Shani Newton, tomorrow, coming live to you from Dolly's Boutique on Facebook.com/Shani Newton. Please like and share that poster because I don't want to get fussed at when I got all these people following me next week and they don't get their stuff. I don't want nobody to get mad because they didn't get their stuff. Okay.
Everybody's going to get their stuff this week.
Yes, everybody's going to get their stuff. Okay. So I'll see you all online tomorrow because I'll be shopping, Dolly's too. Until then, I am Danyl Patterson, candidate for state rep in the 190th, the legislative district in Pennsylvania. For those who don't know, this is a West Philly John reminding you that we will do better together. Thank you, and I'll catch you on Monday.
Bye, everybody.